This is the first of a two-part meeting. You don't have to attend both, but we would certainly encourage you to do that. But we have another one set up in March. So we would encourage you to be open tonight. Anything you want to say, we want to hear it. We're strictly here to listen, okay? We're brand new at this, and Murray will tell you about it later. And without you folks out here, we're just going to fall flat in our face. So we're delighted that you're here, and we're gonna be a success because of you. I do want to introduce our people. This is ACOSS, Annapolis County Outdoor Sports Society. So I'm gonna start here, and you're gonna stand up and you're gonna wave. You don't have to wave. So we have Dick Campbell, Steve Campbell, Stuart Ascott, Laurie Ems, myself, Bob Powell, Murray Freeman, Lynn Winter, Merle Lawton, Bill Hamilton, and Nancy Price. And Jeff Egenbar over there. And I do want to acknowledge someone we have with us tonight. Bridgetown is obviously a great area to come to. Bridgetown and area, and Annapolis County, great place to come to. But we have a gentleman over here, and if I mispronounce it, I'm sorry, James. James Suskovich. First time in my life I got something. Jeff does event management production. And Jeff just was talking to a friend in Montreal and said, do you know anyone? He said, yeah, there's a guy in Beaconsfield. He moved here a year and a half ago, so welcome. There's one member who isn't here, and I do want to just do his name is Phil Marsh. He's from Ottawa. He's bought a house in Hillsburn. Apparently it's too far from the track, so he's looking for another one to buy close in Bridgetown, and he's serious. He joins us by phone. He's been here 2 or 3 times, I think, and he's coming again. He's going to be at the March 7th meeting, so he'll be here. He's a regional manager. I'm not going to read his whole bio because that's all it. He's the regional manager for one of North America's biggest running companies, which I believe is called the Running Room. He's done that since 1996, so he's got 27 years not only doing that, but he's running, triathlon coaching, event organizing. He's won the Queen Elizabeth II Jubilee Medal, the 2000 United Way Community Builder, Celebration 2010 Award, Canadian Coach of Canadian Parliamentary Fitness Initiative, co-conspirator, that's not a good thing, of National Health and Fitness Day. That was a private member's bill. So he's coming down here. He was so excited. He has a list. You almost have to put a brick on his head. He's so enthusiastic and he wants to do so much. And we're just delighted to have him. So he's going to be coming down here doing events and programs, okay? And contrary to what everyone is hearing, it's not a paid position. It's like us. He gets the same pay that the rest of us do. So and I think Phil's joining us. He's going to be at the March 7th meeting in person, but is he live here tonight or is he? He's probably watching. So that's who we are. And I'd also like to, we have to do some acknowledgements. We have some of our Annapolis County councilors here with us. Alex Morrison, Warden Morrison, Councillor Dustin Enslow, Councillor Clyde Bartow, and Councillor Dave Hudson. So thank you very much for coming. And I do want to acknowledge the municipality. This is a big leap of faith for them to allow an outside group to and sign a lease for 5 years. That's putting their faith in us, and you won't be disappointed. So the hub is owned by the municipality, and when we and the other half is owned by the education center. So if you took a line where the drainage ditch in the tennis club is, and you went straight north, or straight south. We'll head north. That's the hub, okay? And Murray's going to talk a little bit more about that. And as I said, we've signed a 5-year agreement with the municipality to manage and operate it. And they have given us a management fee to do that. We have no idea how much money this is going to cost to do. We're going to go through year 1. We don't expect a lot of programming and events in the first year, but we're certainly going to build and build and build. We have 5 years to do that. We want to gather your thoughts on what you would like to see in programming and events. That's why you're here tonight. It's in our plans also to build some kind of building on the property. So that's what we need from you. We need all your input, because whatever we do is going to be based on what you tell us and what the community tells us. If for some reason you're a little bit shy to stand up, or you went home, you go home and say, gee, I wish I had said that, or I've talked to someone and they have this really good idea, you've got a 1-pager that you can pick up on the way out, and it gives all the information and all our contacts. So you can certainly do that. We'd love you to do that. I think I'm just about done. One thing I do want to say, we're always looking for members, but what we're doing, we want to make this a worthwhile volunteer experience. And Murray will tell you how we got together, but we're Sunny Dad folks. We know we're not diverse and we have a ways to go, and we're going to do that. But our newest member from the original core group, which is up here, is Jeff. He has wonderful expertise in what he's doing, wonderful knowledge, and we're going to be looking for people with skills that we can put them in places, because we want this to be worthwhile for the volunteer. So that's all I have, and we'll turn it over to Mr. Freeman, Murray's vice chair in charge of operations, if we had operations.
I'd just like to add that Phil Marsh is retiring in June. So he's moving down here. He'll be here full time. He's pretty excited about this. He is committed to 10 years of volunteering. Just a quick background. Why did this guy from Ottawa wind up here? Saw Ors come in here someplace. Ors Orlando, Tony and Ors's daughter, Kate, is in Ottawa. She's a marathon runner. She's run the Boston Marathon a couple times. She has a coach, and he happens to be Phil Marsh. He heard about this facility, couldn't believe it. Cornered Nancy Price, I believe, at Kate's wedding, if I got this right. Took up 45 minutes of her time and flew down here to look at the golf course. He loves golf. Look at the sports hub. Look at the Harvest Moon Trail, the swimming pool, everything we have. 2 weeks later, he came down and bought a house. And he is extremely well connected. He is very, very passionate about not just elite running, but he's also very, very passionate about active. A little story, he came down here one time and they were having the run, jump, throw program, which is basically an introduction for little kids to get into track and field. And he said they had more participants in Bridgetown than they'd have in Ottawa. But the parents were sitting on the bench looking at their cell phones. He was not a happy camper. He said, that's not right. There should be walking programs, there should be yoga, there should be Pilates, there should be something to get people going. He said, go out and walk your dog for 10 minutes. That's exercise. You know, next week, try 15 minutes. Just get going. He wants to make this county, and this one kind of threw us at a meeting. He said he wants to make this county the most active county in Canada. We were hoping it was going to be like maybe Southwest Nova Scotia, or maybe we'll go crazy and say all of Nova Scotia, but we were kind of quiet after he said that. So anyway, so the unique facility, when they were building the hub, I went up and talked to the gentleman who was putting the lines on the track. I was interested in how this thing was being done, and he said this is one of the elite sports facilities in all of Canada. And he said it would rank up there with North America. And Phil Marsh has backed that up. He said likely one of 5. So we really got to appreciate what we have here, but we've got to work at bringing it to its full potential. And that's going to take a lot of work. But I think we have the passion here. I think we got the vision here. So this meeting started about 2 years ago. I went back through some of my notes today thinking that, we had something here, but it's big. The gentleman that I was talking to was putting the lines down. He said most of these places would have 2 full-time paid people running this facility. Okay, so we have something here. We have a challenge. And so I started talking to some people. Most of these people here. I'm likely the person in this room who has the least friends who will still speak to me. And that number's going down even faster every time we have another meeting. But we have a really strong team here. I don't know how many of you know Stuart Ascott, turf manager. Our 2 soccer fields were looking, grass soccer fields were looking pretty rugged. And I can't believe what Stuart accomplished in 1 year with fertilizing and aerating and rolling and mowing and all the things that need to be done. Stuart does several golf courses and the lawn bowling club, so he knows grass. So we have that. Jeff Agenbar is he's excellent on publicity, on social media, on things like that, we, if he quits, Dick Campbell's going to take it all over. He said, in a heartbeat. Lori Ems is an engineer, long background in engineering, and also worked for Annapolis County Municipality, was acting CAO for a period of time, so he knows all those things. Bill Hamilton, town of Bridgetown, he knows finances and things like that. We have I think a strong group here, a knowledgeable group. And Bob Powell, of course, was rec coordinator for Digby for a number of years. He knows where the bodies are buried. No, he knows where the money is and how to write grants and things like that. So what we decided is we needed to form an organization. We had to have a cutesy name and something that would have an acronym. So we came up with the Annapolis County Outdoor Sports Society. And we said we had 3 things that we need to do. We needed to manage, first, we need to maintain that facility, cut the grass, pick up the garbage. We've taken over the grass. We've taken over the garbage. We've taken over looking after the washrooms, the facility that used to be the tennis clubhouse, now 3 accessible washrooms, plowing the parking lot. We've taken over the management of that, the maintenance of that, taken over the management of that to make sure that it's managed properly, that there are programs in place, and Phil Marsh comes in to try and promote this. He has a lot of ideas, and he wants to put this on the map for all of Nova Scotia, if not Canada. So the thing that we really, our bottom line is elite athletes, it's important, but active living. We want people to get out, to get active. Kyle Gard, our county active living coordinator, floored me the other day when he said that he had read a report, and I keep coming back to this. He said that the report said that an active smoker is more healthy than a sedentary non-smoker, which I asked him, interrupted our conversation about 5 times, said, just run that by me again so I understand that. So, if people are not active, this is not good. So I guess in a way we're doing something for the whole health system, get people moving, get them going. So what we want to do is, encourage people to get out, to inspire, to innovate, and it doesn't have to be long distance running. Phil Marsh talks about these ultra marathons starting at the hub. We're in the process of getting a grant to put an access trail between the school and the Harvest Moon Trail. And he talks about these ultra marathons. Well, you'll start at the school and you'll go down to the Harvest Moon Trail and you'll run to Annapolis Royal and turn around and run back. Gas is only 158 a liter. It's got to go a lot higher than that before this guy's going to try it. But he said he can get 100 people to do this. Obviously, I'm not the craziest one out there. The other thing, so we want equity, we want inclusion, we want accessibility, we want affordability. We are going to strive very carefully to make sure that people can afford the programs that we have, or in many cases, there's not going to be any fee at all. You know, to walk the track, go and walk the track. Okay, sustainability, respect for users, fun, safe, welcoming opportunity. We're talking about elite running, but we're talking about yoga in the park. We're talking about Tai Chi, bocce balls, you know, horseshoes, shuffleboard, all kinds of things. And what we're going to need is we can provide 4 sets of bocce balls, but we need people who are a champion of that and say, I'm going to get a group together and we're going to play bocce balls every Monday and Wednesday morning at 10 o'clock. Okay, Kyle can't do that. We can't do that. We're going to ask all of you to help us with this. Okay, and I'm going to turn it over to Laurie. He's going to explain to you what the hub facility really is.
Thank you, Murray. The hub is as Murray mentioned, is a unique facility. It's very unusual. I've had the pleasure of attending maybe 4 or 5 national soccer championships. One of my sons was particularly good at it. And we've never played on a field that was this good, period. I'll just go through the photos one at a time. We have a fully lit artificial soccer pitch. That's unique in itself, and it's fully lit. We leave the lights on in the evenings now, during the week for walkers, but it's fully lit for nighttime soccer, if that ever becomes an issue. We have a fully lit 8-lane track, artificial surface, again, fairly unique. It gets used regularly now by walkers, and we leave lights on for them. We have within the complex and around the soccer pitch and the track, we have a steeplechase feature. That's on the right hand or the left hand arrow. It's a pond that steeplechase runners have to go through. We don't have any steeplechase runners in Nova Scotia that we're aware of, but we have a steeplechase facility. We also have the long jump, high jump, and triple jump facility that's down on the between the track and the school. Up in the and this is the property belongs to the school. We have a shot put, discus, javelin, and hammer throw facilities up there, including a cage for the discus and the hammer throw. Yes. We also have a natural turf soccer pitch that belongs to the school. We've taken over the maintenance of that. Stuart has put some effort into that, and we're already seeing an improvement in what was there. We have a small practice area, natural turf, that's also suitable for youth soccer. It's big enough to hold the youth soccer systems. And we have the memorial gardens, and that's a unique feature. It's got signage. It memorializes the old high school. and all the good things that were associated with it. In the background behind the sign, you can see the chimney swift chimney. We have chimney swifts that live here in the summer. And that is a unique feature in the park. You can see chimney swifts going down into a chimney in the picture on the right. We have tennis courts for those who like to play tennis. We also have pickleball going on in the gymnasium at the school. We have new accessible washrooms, 3 of them, plus a canteen area that's adjacent to the tennis courts. And we have a beach volleyball court. So these are things that we have. What we really want to know tonight is, what do you want? What kinds of programs would you like to see? What kinds of facilities do we need to build to provide the opportunities for those programs? We recently made an application or filed an expression of interest in building a trail connector that will be on school property. School thinks it's a great idea. It will connect the school parking lot to the Harvest Trail. It will be set up for walking and for bicycling. A key element that ties the hub's center into the river and into the Harvest Trail. So these are all very important features. So like I say, we need to know what you want. That's what we have. We have what we know we have, but do we have what you want? Do you want other things? Do you want more? So I would leave it up to you. We've got a couple of scribes here. We've got a microphone set up. And anybody who has comments, suggestions, or ideas, that's why we're here. Thank you.
And I just, don't come to these meetings late, because we're going to make you stand up and acknowledge yourself. Lynn Longmire, our counselor. Where's Lynn at? Thank you for coming, Lynn. Lori, are you going to start this?
Yeah. Anybody got any comments or suggestions? Please. Yeah. The line system is permanent. I'm not sure. We probably could, yeah. 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 Yes. Yes. Yeah. The idea is to tie the hub center into the trail and to the river.
So we can just make sure we get questions on mic. Anyone else have questions?
Have you given any thought to bleachers? I mean, it's a great facility, but for spectators,
We haven't in the sense that we're waiting to see what people have to say. We have building plans in mind. The initial part is the connector, the trail connector. We've got other plans that we want to get people to tell us what they need, and then we'll finalize building plans as to, you know, what is going to be built there.
thinking of major events, and
Yeah.
if there's major events and lots of people, as we witnessed last year at the track and field,
Yeah.
where do they go?
Yeah.
and sight lines and field of vision.
One of the interesting features of this site is the phenomenal view of the South Mountain. I mean, I was amazed. And the first thing that struck me when we looked at we did an inspection on the washroom building, and it struck me that we need a platform out in front of it so that people could sit and watch soccer and track, as opposed to standing around. But bleachers are certainly an issue.
Thank you.
Hi, we used to have like canoes and kayaks at Jubilee Park that we could rent.
Yeah.
But over the past few years, it's been so hard to get a hold of people to let us in and rent them out or take them, sign them out. Who is in charge of doing that? Is that the
I think
county or-
the recreation department is doing that, but we have applied for a grant to hire a student next year, and we're hoping that we can integrate that sort of thing into the program.
We just haven't had a whole lot of luck in the past couple of
Yeah,
years.
I've heard that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully next year or this year we'll have more.
Yeah.
All right.
When you talk to the microphone, I should know all of you, but I don't. So when you come up, can you just say who you are? Or for us.
Okay.
So have you thought about price? Like,
Yeah.
Walker is big in Bridgetown, right?
Yeah.
And they haven't paid any rent.
Mhm.
Free?
Right now, the youth soccer is free. The use of the tennis court is free, provided you're a member of the tennis club. We have no idea what it's going to cost to run this place. That is something that we're going to work on. Right now, we have a fee structure that was established by the county, and we'll have to work with that until we can decide what we're going to do. But one of our key values of our organization is to make it affordable for people. And you know, that's what we're going to do. If we can bring in events from outside the area, and that's what Phil Marsh is geared up to do, then that will help offset a lot of the costs.
Soccer, I mean, they're probably going to meet in the next couple months.
Yep.
They're going to have to set their fee.
Mhm.
So do they have to go over and above their fee?
That's what we want to talk to them about.
We're going to talk to them directly. Okay.
Yeah,
No, right?
yeah, we're setting up to talk to the tennis club. We've already had extensive discussions with Memorial Park Society. We have to talk to Annapolis Athletics, Education Center, all of these organizations that we need to communicate with. And we'll find out what they're charging and how, you know, can they afford to contribute? And we'll work from there.
They pay for nothing.
Yeah.
So, and it's hard to go from nothing to something. Well, that's, you've got to pay your registration.
And we are fully conscious of that.
Yeah.
But the other thing, and Lori has mentioned it, sorry,
Okay.
the one thing that Lori did mention that we have discussed fees, but we have only in very general terms. We're probably the poorest province in Canada. That's a fact. That's to Newfoundland. We have the highest rate of child poverty in Canada. We have the highest people with some type of disability in Canada. So we have some. Microphone, I'm talking to you guys. Sorry about that.
We're poor. And we have, when we did our value statement and our mission statement, we certainly considered that. We know most of the a lot of the people here have the ability to pay. A lot of people do not have the ability to pay. And even if you charge them $2, well, anyone can afford $2. Well, no, some people can't. If they're paying $2, they're taking $2 from another envelope that might be the food envelope or the gas envelope. So we're fully aware of that. And we also know that soccer has to know, track has to know, the education center has to know. And we're actually would like to enter into formal agreements with all of those folks.
It's got to be done before they have registration
Yeah.
for soccer.
No.
We're trying to do 5 years work in.
I haven't heard anybody ask about shuffleboard yet. We don't have a shuffleboard facility or a horseshoe pitch. Tai Chi, yeah. Yes, yeah. We don't have facilities for those yet, but if you want them, tell us. And we'll integrate it into our plans. We're like I say, we're in the planning stage right now. We hope to have a lot going on this summer, but we're working on a 5-year plan. And a lot of year one is figuring out how much it costs to maintain this place.
Okay, hi. Oh, Sue Eaton is my name. And as mentioned before, we do have quite an active pickleball group here in town. We'll no doubt not be able to use the school gym in the summers. So we'll be looking at the tennis courts again, where it all started last year, where we started with a group of about 4 and now we're about 34. So we're going to ask if your organization would be able to put lines on the second tennis court for us. And also, whenever it comes to scheduling, if we could be considered next to the tennis group for a core of slots during the run of the week that would accommodate all of us. We'll certainly have to go in shifts, of course, but those are just the main things that we're interested in right now.
Yeah, and 2 things. First of all, we would like to be able to make the school gym accessible to you in summer. We've had tremendous response from the school in terms of participating in the hub. The other thing is that yes, if we can work out a deal with the tennis club, we will set up lines and nets for pickleball.
We have, well, we do have our own nets, of course, but we wouldn't use them on the tennis courts. But there's just about 6 inches difference in the height of each, so we were happy with that. But we definitely do need the lines.
Yeah.
The other thing would be great if the lights are working this year on the tennis courts. They weren't, and I know Lynn would like them for tennis as well. So there's just a few little things there, but yeah, it's certainly, if there's another venue where we can play our pickleball in the summer, we're happy. Although I have to say, we loved it at the tennis courts. It's beautiful up there in the evenings.
We've actually had discussions with representatives of the tennis club. There are several things that they would like to see. Some decent fencing, the lighting, some more access so that when they hit the balls over the fence, they don't have to go around the world to get them. But no, the lighting is certainly one of the things that we're going to look at.
We aren't an organization in terms of having a real, what you'd call organization.
Yeah.
We're just a group of people that meet. So if we were going to have to pay for the use of the courts or any of those facilities, we'd certainly need to consider that and figure out how that works.
Yeah.
We're really not interested in being too organized, to tell you the truth.
Well, you have champions, and that's key. One of the things, regardless of what we do, whether it's youth soccer, senior, men's soccer, women's soccer, track and field, tennis. We need champions, people who really want these types of opportunities, and who will, they don't need to be organized.
Oh, we certainly aren't, but we have a
No.
great time.
Yeah, that's my, my experience is that's where you have most of the good times.
So how many folks do you have out for pickleball now?
34 people on our email list as they come. Any given night, we usually have 24, 25 people. We've got 6 courts in that school, which for a lot of people, they wouldn't believe it because that's a big, big facility. So 6 courts, and we had John Osborne, I'm not scared to tell his name because he told me it was okay, very generously donated 6 nets so we could play pickleball there. And yeah, we're thrilled. That was really good. So, yeah, we've got about 34, but usually 24.
And one of the things that we're going to be talking to the school about is making that gym available during the summer. Yeah, the school here is very unusual in that it has a community connection, and that is very important. Certainly, we've had a very good working relationship with the school so far. There is actually money available to the schools to have security and extra janitorial services for community-related events. They weren't aware of that. But it is available for them.
This is being streamed. We have people watching online. I'm doing it right now.
Don't know if I should say this or not, or even ask this. Is there any chance that pickleball could be played in the rink during the summer? Is that a bad suggestion?
Is it all? That wouldn't be a problem at all. If we could have all those doors open so we have some daylight.
Sure, yeah. Yeah. Concrete, cement. No? Oh, okay. And the school janitor problem, Dick Campbell will look after that, okay?
My name is Lester Jackson, and my big issue is the accessibility of all the facilities. A lot of people around the area work shift work.
Yep.
And especially the summertime, it's light out at 6 o'clock. And I still play soccer, and sometimes it doesn't get dark till 9:30 or so, and we're kicked off the field at 8 o'clock. So it's not a lot of fun. It's there for use, and it should be used year round if possible, and it's got to be accessible. That's
Yes.
my big issue. Thank you.
Yes, we the lighting system for the track and the soccer pitch is actually Kyle looks after that on his phone, so he can switch the lights off and on using his phone.
But it's light. You can still play soccer.
Yeah. No,
Use
the
the track, walk around the track. If you get off work at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
It's light out.
yeah, the intention is certainly at this time of year to keep the lights on until what, 8:30 during the week. And then in the summer, we will extend that so that the area is lighted until people don't want to use it anymore. Yes.
All right, I guess I'd like to first say thank you to each one of you who have come together forming this amazing group that is going to do, I know, awesome things. Lynn Longmire, the one that walked in late, my apologies. I would just like to ask if you had thought about reaching out to the Special Olympics and maybe there might be an opportunity there.
Yes.
Great.
Okay. I'm just taking it out of here. So we've done, I've got a loud voice. This scares me. For Special Olympics, we've had the people asking outside of our region if we would be interested in hosting regionals before summer games. There's no such thing in Nova Scotia right now. The Special Olympians train all year and they go to Acadia for summer games in July. And they were hoping to maybe have Bridgetown as a regional track meet so they could have at least one track meet before they went into the provincial summer games, which ranks them to go on to nationals and then on to worlds. So it's a big deal. But when you're talking about the Special Olympics, the summer games is hosting anywhere between 800 to 1,200 athletes from all over Nova Scotia. So our concern is, where do they stay? Where are they going to eat? Right? These are things that, like, we go to Acadia, we're in their cafeteria, we're staying in residence, and things are packed. Where do we park? We've got a lot of wheelchair people and mobility problems. So those are just a few things that we were wondering about. But we've used the facilities for high school, or the school, for our run, jump, throw, which we call it. It's 3 sports in a track field event, and it's throwing the shot put or putting the shot put. They're doing long jump and they're doing the 100-meter dash. And we go along with the regular track team when they have their districts. It's in Bridgetown, and we have a designated time where we use the track. And the Special Olympians absolutely love this. It's a huge event, and we did regionals in Bridgetown last year as well, and it was even bigger. So we're looking to do the regionals, make it bigger for our Special Olympians. Every Monday night, I have a group in Bridgetown now. We're using their gym at 7:30 to 9:30 at night. And I had 24 Special Olympians there from Annapolis to Middleton and Bridgetown area. So they're really liking it, because before, I've taken my daughter Leah to Middleton. Was the only place we could go for the last 10, 12 years, has been Middleton on Wednesday nights. So now we've opened it to Bridgetown, and we're getting Annapolis and Clementsport, Clementsvale, and Bear River kids. There's a lot going on.
The Special Olympics group is one that has been targeted by us. We want the Special Olympics and Special Olympics people to have access to this facility and to use it. In terms of where would people stay and where would people eat, one of the things that we've bounced around is the connection of our website to B&Bs, restaurants, and tourist accommodations. So the idea would be that if someone is coming in from outside the area and they want to know where they're going to stay, they'll have a quick link to be able to book accommodations. Likewise with where do you eat? We have lots of restaurants, all the way from Digby to Greenwood.
There's lots of mobility problems, and we also know when we're talking about the infrastructure, this is part of the infrastructure. The rest of the infrastructure, when you do an event, as you just said, you have to bed people and you have to feed people, and that's why it's called Annapolis County. We don't care where they stay, as long as they can get here, and we don't care where they eat. We just want to bring the people. We'll do the event, and we'll let the economic benefits spill out to the whole county, because that's what we want. So one of the things, I haven't talked to ACOSS about it, one of the things I would like to do in cooperation with the O2 class is give them a project that we could start doing an inventory of all the places in Annapolis County, because I know placement for the O2 is pretty hard. We could act as a placement, and if we could do that inventory, and then Jeff and his crew would put it up on, as Lori says, on the website. So we're well aware that this is part of the infrastructure, but it's only part. Okay, so we're well aware of that.
I hope that answered the question.
Good day. My name is John Ray Lawrence. I just wanted to, I think the point was missed with Lester. It's not about the lights, it's accessibility. If it doesn't open till 8 a.m., I've seen kids jumping the fence there at 6 a.m., adults jumping the fence at 6 a.m. to get in to walk. From the initial design, they're supposed to be at the track, a walk through, so you can't get a bicycle in there. Murray and I have discussed this many times. That should be priority number one, because there's a block of concrete there that holds the gate open, but it's only open for the 12 hours. If you have a walk-through, it's open 24 hours a day. You make it so motorcycles, ATVs can't get through. Then you help your security. And that's the other issue you've got right now. The gate, not where the block is, but on the side of the field, is open all the time. Some Friday night, somebody's going to have a good time in there on our multi-million-dollar field with an ATV. And I see it every morning, makes me cringe. So you either got to get that gate done ASAP or make sure that everything gets locked at night. But if it's open 24 hours a day, you're going to stop people trying to go for walks at 6 a.m. from jumping over the fence, and then they have to climb out. So I put that on top of your list if it was me.
Yeah, in terms of security, we have ordered locks. They come from Mexico. We're waiting for the delivery of the locks so we can put a common key lock on everything.
John Ray, your point taken, the lock's not going to stop it. They're going to jump over the fence. The double gate over by the tennis court, it is locked, and not to disparage on anybody, but it's locked because kids were coming up from town with their pizza, walking in by the cement block, walking across the field with their pop and their pizza. So we had to close that gate. The other one, absolutely, the one where the cement block is, priority to get that changed. There's no point in thinking we're locking this thing when they're jumping over the fence. It should be open 24 hours a day. People, not me, people want to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and do their run or do their walk. They should be able to. People who have insomnia, we have them at the ACA gym, which is open 24 hours a day to paid members. They are there at 1 o'clock in the morning doing their workout. We can't assume that everybody is going to do their physical activity between 8 in the morning and 8 at night. So we have to make it accessible. We have to also do the same thing with those washrooms. Those washrooms should be open when people are there. So those are priority items that we have, is making this thing accessible. Okay.
John Ray, we have the same fear as you do.
No, we went to the hardware store to order locks, and yeah. 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 Nope. Nope.
Cameras are only good for catching people when the damage is done. You're going to catch them.
Maybe.
We've been lucky so far, and that's what it is.
One of the things that we're talking about doing is trying to engage the students in the school. If we can create a sense of pride in the facility with the young people in the community, that will do a lot to prevent vandalism.
Hi, Hi, Laura Ricketts. I own Roma Mocha in Bridgetown. So I think a lot of the downtown business communities would love opportunities to sponsor events and just with signage there. I know with some of the past events, we've noticed a gap of, I know myself, people going to Tim Hortons where I'd love to see them come into town and kind of walk around and that kind of thing. And also even the option to be a vendor closer to for some of those events. That's a good funding opportunity for you because like exhibition, we pay a 10% fee of sales, that kind of thing. So definitely something we would love to chat more with you guys as we get closer to. And you mentioned it from a tourism aspect. As a side note on the chamber, we're starting a tourism committee and we have our first meeting next week. So would love to have your guys' input on that as well.
Yeah. Thank you.
Vendors. Being a vendor at the events.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like myself, Thistle & Co, Diobins, we've had Beaver Tails come for other ones, but and that way there's a hub for people who don't necessarily have time, like at track events, if they only have 20 minutes, they could grab something quick right there and support local too. Great. Thanks.
It is going to be our intention when we start doing events to do these type of things. We're probably going to ask you for an advertising sign too, but but it's our intention to do economic impact studies on the bigger events. The track and field provincials is up in the Western region in 2025. I would hope after speaking with the school and the athletic director, we would bid on that. If you bring 600 athletes in here for 2 days, it'll be over $500,000 to the people, and we'll let you know so you can bring in extra help. But you'll be amazed what people spend when they come to events. And it's pretty embarrassing for you, isn't it? No. Yeah, it's my personal goal that we generate enough economic activity that it will pay for the management fee that the county is giving us. So we want to do economic generation too, but not on the backs of minor soccer or anyone else. It's on the events.
Oh, I'm done.
No, and one of the things that we're looking at doing as fundraising is signage, selling signs. We're looking at naming different parts of the hub. For example, the soccer pitch could be the Sobeys soccer pitch. We will be looking for significant monies to brand different parts of the hub. So that's all stuff that we're working on.
Up and running, accessible, but I think we have to look at everything and making sure everything is accessible, and it takes in many disabilities. Just think of some people with sensory issues. Is there a small space there somewhere that they could go? Let's say they had an adolescent with a sensory issue and they needed that quiet space. I mean, we've got the visual impairments. I mean, I could go on for days on the impairments, but I think we've got to really be sure that we're accommodating them all.
That is part of our objective, is to make sure we are looking at things, for example, with the connector trail that will connect the school to the Harvest Moon Trail, making that accessible for visually impaired people. There are techniques that we can integrate into the design that will help with that. So that is, accessibility is a big issue that we deal with at almost every meeting.
I wanted to go back for a minute when you were bringing up fundraising.
Mhm.
Are you set up in any way that people of my vintage who toddle around the track but are not into all the other things, I don't have children anymore taking part in sports, that would be able to contribute financially? Are you a charitable organization like Friends of the Hub, or I don't know what you want to call it, but I'm sure there are people in town who would love to contribute who can't do it any other way.
I would encourage you to speak to your local county councilor, because we're in a position where we can't give charitable receipts. The county could. I don't think the rec association can anymore, can they? They can't give it. So the only one who can issue receipts will gladly take your money. But the only one right now that we have an avenue for is the county. That's the only one that I'm aware of that can issue tax receipts. So that's a discussion that's going to probably have to happen with them.
I'm just thinking it might be a good idea just to make people aware that they can do that, you
Yes.
know, and otherwise they may not.
That is the purpose of meetings like this one, is to let people know what it is we're doing and what it is we have, and to give people opportunities to support, whether it's financial or whether they simply come and walk around the track. By the way, we don't charge for walking around the track. We never will.
Also, at some point, I think I have such a big voice, I don't. At some point, we are going to have to tackle, and we had a gentleman do us a long prescription of how we might do some stuff. And one of the things we're going to do, it's not morbid, it's a fact of life. People die. And some people die and they want to leave their money somewhere if they don't have anyone. A gentleman in Annapolis Royal just left 1.2 million or 1.5 to the local library. That's significant. And they're just going to use the interest or the dividends off that. So we're going to talk to the funeral homes. And we're going to talk to the funeral homes. And we're going to talk to other people, because there are people who would like to make an impact and leave their money somewhere and really don't have any place to leave it. So we'd like to do that. And if we get a lot of money, we're going to take out insurance policies on people.
In relation to your promotion, are you going to mention the different facilities that also exist in
Yes.
or in around Bridgetown?
Yes.
You know, the pool, the golf
in-
course, so and so on and so forth.
In around the county. This is not a Bridgetown facility. I don't live in Bridgetown. I live in Middleton. This is a county-wide facility. We want to promote it and have it used by all residents of the county, whether they benefit from commercial activities associated with the facility, or whether they simply send their kids to play soccer. This is a county facility.
And our communications committee, once it's our intention to do exactly what you said, to have links. You want a link? The Board of Trade wants to link? Go ahead. And the other thing, I did want to extend an invitation to the Board of Trade and to soccer and to the track. The way our Constitution reads, we're it. We haven't opened it up to stakeholder groups, but we're going to make that adjustment at our annual meeting. And we would love to have representatives of those groups, so you don't have to come to meetings like this. You can sit at an ACOSS meeting and say, we would like to do this.
Yes.
Because when they were after the rec commission to take it over, there was issues with the field that are under warranty.
Yes, there has been warranty work done on the track.
Okay.
The field itself has to be groomed, probably at least once a year. That has been done. The ditching system or the drainage system around the perimeter of the field has been cleaned. That was a fairly interesting exercise. But yes, we've done an inspection of the work on the washrooms. We've listed a number of deficiencies that we saw, and those we are assured will be taken care of.
Supposedly they guaranteed 5 years. That was the deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other work that was done, there was bubbling at the start line. That's all been replaced. And we have, one of our members is in charge of risk management. That would be Merle. He walks the track every day and inspects it. We also have some lighting issues. That's where are they from?
Someplace in the States. Those lights are monitored from the United States.
They're guaranteed for 25 years. There are lights out. So they've been made aware of that. So any warranty issues, the county is aware of it because they are the owners. So
Also, the county, we did an inspection of the trees that were up there. There's dead limbs, there's dead trees, there's a whole list of things that the county is going to look after come spring when the leaves come out and we can figure out which limbs are actually dead. A couple of trees, sorry, but a couple of trees are going to have to come down. We do not want a large limb coming down on some athletes or some spectators. So, that's all been looked after. As I said, we did a complete walk around inspection, fences, the track, the turf, the whole thing. And we keep saying that this is the Annapolis County, and 5 of us sitting up here, we don't live in Bridgetown. So I refer to myself as a day resident of Bridgetown. I found out last week the liquor store's here.
So first I just want to say thanks everyone for coming. It'd be nice if we could see turn it like this at a county meeting. That'd be nice. Just throw that plug out there. Oh, sorry. I'm Councillor Dustin Enzel from this area, District 3. So the north side of Granville Street. Then it gets complicated outside of town. However, I just want to thank everyone for coming. It continues to surprise me the amount of support that we have in this community for not just sports, but everything that we have, including the Lions breakfast and different things like that. And the fact that I keep hearing time and time again tonight about partnerships, it's just important to see that we're actually going to continue to work together. And I do want to mention that there is an organization here in the Bridgetown area for if someone passes away, the Bridgetown Community Fund that can be left to. So I just want to thank everyone for coming out, and I want to thank all of the volunteers that are here because they volunteer with more than just this organization. They volunteer with everything, it seems. So thank you all.
Thank you. But one of the things that you will notice with the group at the table here is that we're all getting old.
we're not getting old.
Some of us are getting old. But we need people. We need people with interests in these facilities and people with skills. That's really what we need. We need to use the facility, and we need to manage the facility properly. And that's really what we're up to here.
When you said manage it properly, it made me think of the upper soccer field.
Yep.
We have it being used as a dog park through the day, right?
Not now.
Not anymore?
Nope.
Because at one point there was a horse in there. Because we had a track meet and we had to clean the horse poop off the field before we had the track meet. So
that's why it's locked.
I have That's wonderful, but I still see dogs up there. Just saying. Okay.
I'm on your right. Time out.
No, we've locked all the gates to the soccer field. With the permission of the school. Last summer, we were having an issue. So somebody decided that we'd just lock all the gates open. Let your dog go, and he's got 6 places to run out through the fence. Okay. So no, and I understand that the group has formed a society, the dog group, and they've approached county council, and county council is on board, and there's a piece of land that is being looked at. Can I say where? No official request, but there is a potential piece of land that's going to be fenced off and made into an off-leash dog park. Okay. There were some people who said, well, can we use that field that is what we call the staging area west of the track and by Fay Road? It's still used, sorry, but we're not prepared to go in there before a track meet and go over every square foot of that looking for things that shouldn't be there. So, no.
Dog urine kills. So you have patches and stuff. Poor Stewart, he's got enough to do without worrying about ammonia patches.
Yeah. No, and we've had some interesting debates at our committee meetings about the use of the facility by people with dogs, and frankly, we don't want to exclude anybody. But if the dog walkers can come up with another site, we would be very, very pleased. Now, we have refreshments over here. Yeah. Why don't we take a break for refreshments, and we'll come back and see if anybody has any additional information. How much you got there, Nancy? Ah, good.
Please don't leave. Grab something if you need something and come back. We want to hear from anyone else who's here. So.
Yep.
Live stream and project. How's it looking? Sound like maybe.
Okay, grab your treats. We're going to just gather you all back together for a few more questions, and then we'll wrap it up. Everyone back to their seats. We do have one. We're very lucky tonight to have Larry Powell here. Thank you. No relation to me, but thank you, Larry, for coming. We're going to do this. We actually, I've never done this before. We have some online questions. I think that came from outside the door, but. Someone, which is great. And one of the questions is, will the canteen be contracted out? I guess my first response is probably no, but we don't know. Like, we may look down the road and say, we don't want to do this. But to answer that question, we don't know at this time if we're going to do it.
Can nonprofits use to raise funds was question number 2.
And I would probably say we're going to provide nonprofit groups with the opportunity to raise money. I don't know how that's going to be, but we know, talking to Mr. Stoddard and Darlene just a minute ago, and we were briefly talking about the provincial track and field meet. I said 600. How many is it, Mike? 1,000 or more. So one canteen's probably not going to feed them. So yeah, at least double that. So.
And then the third part was their idea / question of, can there be some sort of community bulletin there so that people can see what activities are on and how to sign up, contact info?
Probably. That's not a bad idea.
So thank you to our
We
online
have, oh,
watcher.
no, just the Memorial Park. We have a kiosk. Yep. We have one there. Nancy's going to answer. Tell them what a big thing is, Nancy.
Nancy can't answer. She's saying that there's a kiosk at the Memorial Park. Some signage there that can be used for that sort of thing, potentially. Microphone, Bob.
Thank you, Jeff. Geez, I never got shit so much in my life.
No.
These are questions that we're going to have to answer at some point. So we're glad to have them now, because now we can consider them and do it. I think we had a question right there.
Yes. Okay. I'm Heather Van Wagner. I'm a teacher at the school, and we've started a mountain biking club. My husband is Zach. He owns the bike shop in town, and so we're trying to get people out on bikes, and so I guess wanting to be involved with the committee as well. What else do you want me to say?
So Heather does the mountain biking club with the school. When we first opened the shop, we tried to do different community bike rides, sort of left from downtown Bridgetown. We did that the first summer that we were open. We didn't do a lot of them this year, just because things were a little bit busier. And then the turnout was, sometimes we'd get quite a few people, and other times we'd only get a couple people. So it's sort of hard to mesh up like all the abilities. But that could be something as well that we'd be interested in doing again, that maybe could be involved with the hub, like they could be leaving from there and that sort of thing.
This new trail that we're putting in between the school and the Harvest Moon Trail will be a great access, and it's being built bike friendly. Okay, so I've heard this group exists. Excellent. One other thing I'd like to say, and I know a number of you here walk that area almost daily. If you see anything, if you see a problem with the fence, or you see, would you please get in touch with us and let us know? We don't want to have a broken gate or, God forbid, a broken beer bottle in the parking lot or whatever. We want those things cleaned up as fast as we possibly can. I think it's important that the place looks, what's my daughter say, curb appeal. You come into town, the grass should be cut and things should be neat and tidy and the garbage picked up and things like that. So anything you see, did you know then that big wind that we had that came out of the south, those massive soccer nets actually blew from the south end of the field and fetched up on the north fence? That had to be a sight to behold. And one of the soccer nets was kind of reefed up over the second one. Anyway, anything you see, just let us know immediately, please.
I had another question about parking. Just wondering if for big events, if we could have a satellite parking lot and a shuttle that might be able to expand parking capabilities. Because I'm looking at that photo and seeing the cars lined up on the side of the road. And
The quick answer to that is yes.
okay. Yeah. I also kind of wondered about accessibility. The only curb cutout is at the crosswalk, I think. coming out of the parking. So if you have accessibility issues, you have to go all the way back down to the outside of the driveway in order to get up on the sidewalk.
Yeah, I think there's one curb cut out at the accessible parking. So there would be two at the parking lot, I think.
One either end of the parking lot.
Yeah.
On the, yeah, look at it. Yeah. Yeah, there are two cutouts in the, at either end of the parking lot where the last lamp standard is, I believe it is. I know there's, I do use them when I'm taking equipment over onto the Memorial Park area when I'm working in there. You can come across the end of the parking lot. There's a cutoff there, and then there's another one. Actually, for those who might remember where the accessible porta toilet was, there's one right there. And so it's so there are only the two that I know of. Yeah.
Okay, we got a question on the other side here.
Thank you. So it's just when the question had come up about being able to donate to the society. At Christmas, Salvation Army set up, it was technology called Tip Tap Pay. So it was like a little card that they had set up at the cafe and I think a couple other places, and you could get large ones as well. So if you had a secured spot where you could put it, let's say someone's a frequent walker of the track, anytime they wanted to, they could just tap their card and donate $5, $10, $20. There's different increments that they can do. And you can get the card branded. There was lots, like it was a really cool system that they used. And it made it really easy. Someone didn't have to come around every day and collect cash. I would ask them more specifically about the details of what it cost in that, but they seemed really positive about the outcome of using it.
I saw Mr. Stoddard here. I asked him to talk.
I was just giving everybody else a chance to talk. Yes, I am Mike Stoddard, the athletic director at the school. Just a couple of things that we do need at the soccer field itself. There are no corner flag sleeves in the ground. So we try to put portable soccer corner flags, but just too much wind there, so it won't work. So we need some sleeves to actually put down into the core. And it would be nice to have a few covered bleachers, not bleachers for spectators, but I would say the covered soccer benches, we call them, I guess, for the players, so they can get out of the weather when they are playing. That would be something nice. You know, this is my dream wish list, I guess. As far as track and field provincials, yes, it would bring 1,000, 1,100 athletes with their parents and spectators. When we apply, there has to be, it's a bid process. I have to list the accommodations in the area, food establishments, the number of toilets that we have, all that stuff. So we have to make sure we have our ducks in a row if we're going to apply, because there are other people that will be applying as well. But I would most definitely be willing to apply for that if you guys can assure me of some help from your committee. Thank you.
Thank you.
One of the first speakers said about lines on the field. Hopefully down the road, there might be some football, there might be some rugby, there might be some field lacrosse. So if you think your idea might be far-fetched, it's not so far-fetched. Pickleball was far-fetched in Bridgetown for a while, and it's going. So mountain biking wasn't heard of, it's going. So there are things that are not too far-fetched. Any idea, we're going to go down a lot of roads, and some of them are going to be dead ends, and we realize that, but that's okay. Geez, Lori's supposed to be running that.
In terms of football and lacrosse, for example, they might end up on the natural turf pitch as opposed to the artificial turf pitch. I don't know that the artificial turf pitch is good for football. There may be a problem with it. But certainly it wouldn't be out of reach to put the proper lines on these natural turf pitch and to use it for football. And as well as soccer.
Anyone else? We've already encouraged you. The one-pagers, if you haven't signed up on before you came in, please sign up on the way out, because it's important that we can keep in touch with you folks. Pick up the one-pager. It's there. It has our contact information. And now that you know who we are, call any of us and say, gee, I wish I had said this, or I had forgot to say this. And no idea is too far-fetched, and no, there are no bad questions. We'll give some bad answers, but there are no bad questions. So we'll do the best we can. Lori? Listen, we're absolutely delighted with the turnout. It was for a public meeting, as one of the counselors said, it would be nice. I went to some of the, what was the public meetings for the planning. I went, and there wasn't near this many people, and quite frankly, a far more important topic. Probably most people wouldn't, but so we're delighted that you were all able to come tonight. Please do not have huge expectations for this summer. Okay, we're going to try and put some things in place, but we're getting our feet wet. Our main purpose when we started was to get the facility back up to scratch, so it's user ready, and it's not quite there yet, but the county has told us that in the spring they're going to do the work and everything will be user friendly right off the bat. And then we're not only going to work with groups like Mike to bid on events, but down the road we're going to do our own events too, and that's one of Phil's strengths. And a lot of people in this room have strengths doing events too, and say, gee, I would like the mountain bike. If they want to do a mountain bike, whatever mountain bikers do, then you come to us and we're going to help you. You won't have to worry about garbage. Hopefully you won't have to worry about washrooms. You won't have to worry about it. We won't have to worry about bicycle racks. We're going to take care of those things. We're going to work with groups. We're not necessarily going to do it, but we're going to facilitate things to happen. Any other members want to say anything?
Well, we do need to say that we are scheduled to be back here March 7th, same time, and we'll do a follow-up meeting based on everything we've heard tonight. We still have to get together and discuss that and how to not have necessarily just a repeat of this session, but build upon it. So we hope that you'll come. We'll hope that you'll bring people along with you. Maybe we'll have even more people next time. We'll see.
Is this what you expected, or did we fool you? Okay, we're good then? Okay, thank you very much, guys.